to another weather update. So first of all, sorry, it's been a while because I've been on vacation and I haven't been able to upload. So I should be able to start uploading on a daily basis again. So first of all, just like normal, we're gonna look at Storm Prediction Center. Level 1 risk for the southeast and for the coastal areas of the Carolinas, most of it. With a level 2 slight risk. Louisiana all the way through the extreme western part of Florida. Northwestern, I mean. I'd consider it western, honestly. With another slight 2 risk. In southeast portions of Idaho, most of like part of Nebraska, South Dakota, and extreme northeast Colorado, and slight 2 risk in eastern North Dakota and western Minnesota, so that's a lot of talking. Level 1 in extreme northern parts of Maine, southeast, surrounding the slight 2s mainly, just like surrounding areas. Okay, let's look at our tornado threat. 2%. Wow. I was honestly expecting this to be like a 5% at least. Wind 15% in some spots, and hail 15%. I don't think there's going to be hail here. I don't buy this. But it is a 5%, but I do really think it should be a 0, honestly. Really don't buy it. Day 2 outlook. Okay. Level 1 for the South Georgia, northern Florida, southern Alabama, and extreme South Carolina. South twice. And level 2 slight risk going all the way from southern Nebraska all the way to the panhandle of Texas. Level 1 risk surrounding that and going up into Canada. And that's about it on that. Tornado 2% throughout areas of Minnesota and Wisconsin. Wind 15% throughout the slight 2 risk I just named. Damaging winds 5% throughout this area. And 5% of hail throughout here. Day 3 outlook. Not as bad. Level 1 marginal risk stretching from Wyoming all the way down to New Mexico. And Michigan, like basically some of the Great Lakes areas. And most of Arkansas, Mississippi, and Louisiana, parts of those. And thunderstorms throughout the whole country. And total severe weather, 5% in the mainly level 1 risks. Anything for the day 4 to 8? No. Okay, gonna go ahead and get this ready for tomorrow's video. Alright, today's forecast. Gotta go to our 18Z for better loading. We're starting off a little bit later. It's already 8:12. Okay. He had a lot of high pressures right here near Bermuda. So the wind's not going to be too bad except the ocean. I do have a little I don't know, that might be one of the enhancement risks for the National Hurricane Center. We're going to talk about the tropics when we get done with our daily forecast and all that. So let's look at the radar. Severe storms throughout areas of northern Minnesota into tonight. And severe storms throughout here. And into Missouri. Temperatures. Today was kind of a relief for some areas, but still not for others. We'll be getting out of the heat soon enough, what felt like forever. Low, but not much relief though. Like really hot in portions of Ontario. Then it looks like it gets a little bit hotter in parts of the southeast and eastern plains. Y'all probably know by now what that was. That's my mom, just in case, just for any new viewers. So that's kind of the daily forecast. I was hinting at warm in Ontario again. Alright, now let's get on with our long range forecast. Let's go to the Euro for our long range forecast. Kind of pulling it up on the fly. Like I said, not much relief for the south. Maybe some thunderstorm activity throughout the southeast. A little bit more of a relief on Friday. And it warms up again by next weekend. A little bit of relief for the extreme southeast. Gets really hot in Kentucky and Tennessee, while the southeast remains pretty nice compared to what it has been. And then it warms up again, probably 100 degrees in parts of Virginia on the first day of September. Could be bringing some records, maybe. 98 all the way up to like mid-upper 90s all the way up to the Great Lakes. Heat wave. So it's gonna get really hot again. Probably 100 degrees in parts of West Virginia. Record-breaking temperatures in Northern Virginia into DC, 105 on the 5th. That has not been consistent, but has been consistent about this kind of heat, though. 100 is getting a little bit further south. Then y'all might get some relief, especially if you have a cold front coming through. That'll bring 40s and 50s throughout the northern plains. Maybe even some lower 40s in the Dakotas. That'll be nice. Let's look at our temperature anomalies. Really hot. Really high temperature anomalies. Not what you want to see if you're already looking forward to cooler weather, but this is what you do want to see. You want to see that cold air come through. Might even get some 50s in for afternoon temps in Nebraska, South Dakota. I mean, nobody really lives in Wyoming, so why should I speak over it? Just kidding. I'll still speak over every part in the U.S. Wyoming could get some 50s. Do not want to do that. That's kind of let's look at our preset though, and then that'll be it for this forecast. We got to go into our daily winter outlook. So storms throughout the eastern U.S. Severe squall line up here in the South Dakota does have consistency, so something to watch for the 29th. Does not really stay quiet. You have a little upper cyclone going into southern Canada. Severe storms as the heat wave continues. Possibly something to watch in Chicago and Michigan. And then more severe storms throughout the Northeast. It doesn't really stay quiet, honestly. It's very active. So, I think this is, no. We'll switch these tabs. There we go. Our 12Z. So, our daily winter outlook. I have not one in November, and they're already putting some below average for November. So, that's really good. And then January warms up again. December 2022 is actually going to be pretty cool, actually, for the southeast. I don't buy that, but considering how it's been, but I really do kind of hope. I do buy it right here, though. I don't think it's going to get all the way to the Carolinas. January, it kind of suppresses toward the Gulf. February is when it cools down again. It has been downtrending on this cold again, so that's bad. March is going to be really cold. April, the below average is still kind of there, but it will probably be warmer at the end of the month. In May, it's all gone. Basically, all the El Nino effects is gone by May, as we are entering a La Nina in 2027, so that's your daily winter outlook. Let's look at our precipitation. I mean, I'm really doing winter and spring, honestly. I'm covering April and May. So December could have some ice storms for the southeast. And so could February, honestly. And heavy snow throughout the plains. March and April are going to be dry for parts of the U.S. And we really need the rain. But we're still going to be below average for the southeast in September. And I live in Georgia. And we have had like barely any rain this summer. We're still having those La Nina effects from last winter. But that is expected to change once we get into the later parts of the year. So that'll be good. Especially if we can get a tropical system to get into this area, that'll also be beneficial for rain. But we don't know if that's going to happen. Alright, now I think we're going to get to the tropics. We're just going to close that out. First, we'll look at the National Hurricane Center. I always have to refresh this in case there's something crazy happening. Okay, so I have so first disturbance 1, Invest 95. 50% chance to develop in 7 days. I don't really find it worth talking about this, but it could affect parts of Atlantic Canada, so we do need to watch for that. We actually need to I'm gonna pull stuff up on the fly. Let's go ahead and go to where is South? Right there, Atlantic Canada. Okay. So it is something to watch for those areas. Nova Scotia should be safe, but it's more about like Newfoundland. And the one that everyone's talking about in the main concern is this tropical wave right here. It has now been named Invest 96 in the 7 p.m. update. First one with the Invest name. Okay, so formation chance throughout the next 2 days, 40%, so still a medium risk. So, yeah, let's look at the Pacific. We have lots of tropical systems. We just got a newly formed 10E. It could collide with Tropical Storm Iselle over here as it strengthens into a hurricane within the coming hours. So we could see that happen. And we do have 2 areas of interest that kind of overlap. So we do have a 90% chance and a 40% chance. I don't think it's going to impact anybody, but it could be like 4 hurricanes within like 500 miles of each other that we've probably never seen in history before. So we need to watch for historical stuff. That's what we're mainly watching. None of these have been named Invest. I don't think they do Invest. Don't they do like these weird things? Like numbers or something? Invest E instead of L. I think that's what it is. This probably isn't going to impact anybody because it looks like it's going to go north. Hawaii should be safe. Let's look at Iselle, though. Iselle looks like it's going to head toward Hawaii, but it is expected to weaken, but that is just end. And you can see, I think this is 10E. That is expected to collide with this system, with Iselle. So it is something to just see and watch. This also does increase the chance for a tropical system to also get into like Mexico, the Baja California areas, and southwest US and California into parts of Arizona as well could face tropical threats, higher levels of it at least, due to El Nino. Moke, I don't think it's going to do much. It is expected to die out. Didn't really, it brought some rain to Hawaii, but didn't really do any wind impacts. And Lala is expected to cross the international date line. So the National Hurricane Center won't be tracking this much longer because it'll cross the international date line. Advisory 50, by the way. That's crazy. It's moving pretty slow. Still tropical storm. It's not going to impact anybody, I don't think, but still. It'll be cool to see it cross the international date line. So, still 988 millibars. What is Azelle? Azelle is not also 988. 10E is 1006 and Moke is 1005. And yeah, we still have Lala and Moke. That's it for the National Hurricane Center. Now let's go to... So since it's been named the Invest, we have more stuff to look at. Yeah, I wanted to talk about this first. It doesn't look like it's going to bring much impact. I don't even see a system. But there is something we need to watch here. I'm going to need to switch to the GFS for this. Even though I don't like the GFS on recordings, I still have to switch it. So the GFS does show something coming off of New York and the Northeast around like the 3rd or 4th. But I don't really see it anymore. This is the system that I was talking about, but still. I think this is Invest 96. But brings heavy rain and impacts in Nova Scotia. And some harsh winds. Also to Atlantic Canada. Especially Prince Edward Island. But it doesn't show that anymore. That's good for them. Okay, let's look at our HAFS models. All of them should be ready by now. I think we're gonna go down the list. H4 doesn't have it yet. HMont also doesn't have it, so. So it looks like it gets a core, and it looks like it strengthens as it goes further west. Let's look at the radar first. You can see how it kind of has like a center. No, it looks like it kind of disorganizes at the end, but it's just such like differences. I don't buy that. I do buy this more so though. I don't think it's just gonna break out like that. I don't think it's gonna do that. Still, you're gonna have some heavy winds, possibly reaching. Like some of these images have it as a low-end Cat 1 hurricane. This is the first run it has it, so yeah, something to watch. So get the parent. The parent doesn't have it either. Guess we're just gonna have to look at these for now. It looks like it also gets us to a hurricane. Then it does that weird weakening thing as it gets into the Caribbean area. It shifts north. It kind of goes like northwest, so it'll turn out the sea, but we still need to watch it and see what it's gonna do. I still don't like the GFS because this is the only model that just intensifies it like that. It's the only model that does it. I just don't like it because of that. So it's just, and it curves it out I think way too early as well. Look at our Euro. Does it run on the it does run on the 18Z. It'll come out soon, probably after this recording. But the Euro does not like this strengthening, and it really likes strengthening it like around when it gets a little bit closer to Bermuda, it really does light, and then it explodes into like major hurricane. 939 millibar low. And then it might bring some impacts to Iceland. We don't know. If you're watching from Iceland, just be ready for the system. I don't think it's going to impact you, but still. Still a 939. It's all the way up to about 50 degrees north. But then it weakens due to cooler waters. But the system is still strong enough to bring impacts, possibly. Some heavy wind gusts as well. To all of Iceland, basically. Could even bring some snow to the mountains. Talking about snow in August, I don't think that makes sense still. Alright, second to last thing. Alright, I already have some of it pulled up. We have our spaghetti plots here for the system. Yeah, it looks like this will impact Newfoundland, like St. John's, that area. You get a few members doing that. Like, kind of like not turning. Then it turns way later. I don't buy a 973 low being like a major hurricane, like 120 or something. I don't buy that. So I got 12Z. It's still, kind of stayed the same, shifted a little bit more west from the 12Z, but still, overall. The GFS is the only one that like curves it up like crazy. Okay, we need to go to 60. Let's look at the European. So this is our 12Z. We're gonna go ahead and go out to about 180 hours. So I notice how there's a lot more that like only one turn. And there's a lot more that waits to get closer, and there's still more that heads toward like the Bahamas. It's definitely becoming more of a trend as well in all the models, except the GFS. But the GFS catches on to it a little bit by just putting one singular member. I don't think this is gonna happen unless I start trending it. But like a low 940 low, it stalls and it impacts Jekyll Island pretty badly. St. Mary's, Jacksonville. But I don't think that's happening. That's like an extreme outlier. That's like a 1%, actually 2, since that makes it 51, so there's a 2% chance. So, and St. Simon's. If that actually happens, that'd be crazy. Alright, let's look at the Euro AI. Let's hope the 18Z loader or else this video is ruined. There we go, we got it. As compared to 12Z, a little bit more of a south trend, but also more that could be more likely to curve north. So the Euro AI really likes it, and it has trended it south kind of, and also more members. So most of the models really like the idea of it kind of going into here and then curving like in between the US and Bermuda. That's probably the most likely scenario out of all this. But you do see those members that get really close and how like definitely less, but still just less overall. Of course it's the AI model and it's the 18Z. It's not the official full data 012Z that it gets, so of course it does this. But then it picks up around here. A lot more concerning for the southeast US, because you have, let me zoom in, you have way more members putting something uncomfortably close compared to the 12Z. So it could be something to watch, definitely. You also have a few hitting at the system as well, but I don't think there's going to be anything in the Gulf in the next 2 weeks. At least I think. And then let's go up to full 360 and just see what happens. does hint at a tropical system coming behind it, but it's still 2 weeks out, so there's like 0% confidence on it. So the URI is definitely, let me actually go to like 180. No, we might need to go to like 240. Actually, let's just go the full thing. I don't care. So that's the full system right there. I don't want to go to the 0 hour. Shifted west, definitely. Even compared to early morning runs, it's still shifted west. Like 00Z had low confidence. 18Z shifted west. So let's hope our Google DeepMind generated. Please don't do the thing, or else I'm gonna be really mad, because I hate when it does it. There we go. Let's actually look at our GenCast first. So this is our 12Z. Yeah, we only have the 12Z. So lower signal doesn't like it strengthening, but as you get closer, you still have members that like get at the trend again. By the way, this is not a separate system. These are still this is the same system coming from that, but it just has low confidence because it breaks and then it like, I don't know why it does this, but it just re-strengthens. Let me turn up my brightness real fast. Okay. Let's go out the full. No direct impacts. Definitely a weakening signal, but still. It's still way further west than the GFS. Shifted more west since our 0Z. 00Z. What did I? Okay. I thought I knocked over something. Let's go back to 60. Oh my gosh, I'm so nervous to switch models because it's going to do the thing. Yes, it didn't do the thing. It didn't do the thing. I'm actually so happy about that. It shouldn't do it here. Oh, we're safe. Okay. Compare this to 12Z. Definitely strengthening signal over it. So what we really do want to see is the system strengthen. But because if it does, it'll be more likely to curve. And what we don't want to happen for people that live in this area is for it to stay low, gets into here, weakens enough and it still be a tropical system. And then it gets here, and then it just rapidly strengthens due to the Gulf Stream and gets uncomfortably close to the southeast U.S. That is a possibility. It's definitely increased. So yeah, same kind of thing as the GenCast. Of course, it's the AI. All the AI models do this. But still, 12Z had higher confidence. By the way, this is all new data to me. I haven't looked at this yet. It just came out like 10 minutes ago. But look at how many lows just pop off. This is like the only GD reference I use in these videos, by the way. Okay. Let's get back to the weather. Definitely a strengthening signal. And a shift west for sure. Let's zoom in here on the southeast. It still wants more to curve out the sea, but still, it's like way close. And potential southeast impacts could happen around September 6th, the 7th. Don't spam in the comments 6, 7, please. But it really loves the idea of it getting into the Gulf. Like, there's way more members putting it into the Gulf. But it doesn't really like a direct impact. What happened here? Gosh. Just, I'm going to the full 360. I don't care about any of this. And another set of impacts. So it could either, it ranged from September 6th to the 10th, probably to the 11th. Basically from September 6th to 9/11, so yeah. Let's compare this to 12Z. 12Z had definitely more westward overall. I don't understand why it likes to signal in the Gulf so much. Like, It's really uptrended this. I really don't buy any of it going into the Gulf. I don't think that's gonna happen. I don't think we're gonna have like a Katrina like outcome of this. I don't think we're gonna have anything like that, but still. Let's just go ahead and set this up. There we go. This outlier, these are like outliers. Of course, this is an outlier model, but it's something to watch because it is very accurate. So, and it really it just loves a trend of it getting close to the southeast. And it's uptrended ever since today, and it's just become more of an uptrend. And I still have some of the members way down here, so impacts could be like a week long, potential impacts. So, yeah, is there anything else you need to look at? Let me double check that I went through everything. HMON, no, HWARF. Oh my gosh, I did it again. I was actually so confident that I wouldn't do it, but I did. Oh, the parents have the models now. We need to look at that. And then I'll look at MSN. I'll look at MSN first, and then. Okay. So I already had it pulled up. So here's the tropical system. It's weakened significantly on this model. This is what we don't want, because it looks like it gets a lot closer to the southeast. And kind of like what the Euro does, it curves like once it gets near Bermuda, and then it strengthens again into a tropical storm. So yeah, MSN doesn't take that long for it to go through. I don't think a minute does anything, but of course it is 8:40, so I did it twice. I guess we can only look at the halves B parent. Let's go ahead and take this back. I'm actually using the slider from now on, actually. I don't want to risk it. I'm using the sliders if I am offered those. Okay. So here's our system right here. Fresh off Africa. You can see Africa. Not one. You can see Africa right here. This is mainland Africa. So the low is still kind of disorganized. Then the model finally gets itself together. Brings it down to a sub 1,000 as early as Wednesday. But it really likes the hurricane. And it still kind of likes the westward track. Like, it doesn't really shift extreme north. Because you can see the longitude right here. It still goes more west than it does north, so concerning signal. I think we also have our spaghetti plots. I need to have a tab for this, but I'll just do it on the fly. So first, let's look at Isel. Let's see what it can do. That's yesterday's 18Z, never mind. So all of them go west, basically. No, it wants it the weekend, so it's not really anything concerning, so yeah. It'll become a hurricane, like I said, but nothing much. Nothing too concerning. Let's look at 10E. Then it wants it to go west again. What about our Wawa? Still wants it to cross the date line. And then wants it the weekend. The CTCI just always like is an underlier. If that's even a word, I think it is. It's always like an underlier because if you go to like 10, you can't see it. Let's go to Isel. What even is that? I don't even see it on here. think they all have the same color. Okay, let's look at Saudel. It's going to bring big impacts to eastern China, northern Taiwan. So eastern China needs to be on watch for this. I don't buy anything going out here to South Korea. I don't buy that. I think most of the impacts are going to be here in eastern China around Shanghai and Ho Chi Minh City or whatever that place is called. EPS is aggressive. Glitch. Don't buy. Just underlier. Gosh. That was mom again. Okay, so the EPS still wanted to go like northwest. They don't really show any sign of it curving. So that is concerning for the Antilles overall. You don't have much yet because it's still the first run of this system. I don't buy it just weakening like that unless the AI runs are actually correct for once. The NNIB is in direct line with the IVCN. But in the morning we'll have more info on this, and I'll still do the evening update tomorrow. So I don't really have anything else to cover. The full runs haven't really even came in yet, so yeah. Definitely moving off Africa, as you can see. So, bye chat. We made the 38 minutes. Wow, that's our longest video yet. I hope you enjoyed. And don't forget to like and subscribe and be here for tomorrow evening's forecast for the system and other severe weather. Bye.